Hey, how you doing? My voice is not so great right now. I've got that cold that everybody's got. Actually, you know it's bad when you go to see the doctor and she's got the same cold. Doctors aren't supposed to get colds anyway. Uh, let's see. I wanted to say that there's a reason why this talk here is being called Gorilla in a Coal. Gorilla? No, that's the police song. I screwed up. Uh, see Elvis Costello in the background. There's Elvis and Ray Charles and Johnny Cash and Stevie Wonder and John Lennon. Anyway, let me kind of try and focus. Get on point here, dude. All right. Gorilla in a library because a library is supposed to be a peaceful place. And this country is supposed to be a peaceful place. We're supposed to be peace-loving people. We're supposed to be loving people. We are supposed to, I don't know, we're not supposed to be doing anything, but what happens when a gorilla goes into a library? Anyway, I'm probably going to write that up as a song, but that's kind of how I see Trump right now. So let me just say this. I don't know anything. Like Plato or Socrates or somebody said. I'm wise in that I know that I don't know. And I invite, if my little talks here can be of any benefit at all, it's that it might get people to ask questions and to realize that they don't know and to kind of get into a dialogue, because when there's a dialogue and it's in search of truth and community and peace and love, then only something good can come out of that, which is much better than a gorilla in a library. So, I will say this though. Usually in a library, you want to be peaceful. You want to not disturb anybody. But when you got a gorilla in a library, that disrupts everything. And now you've got a completely different set of rules, because there ain't no chance of just having a peaceful read of a book in a library when there's a gorilla messing everything up. So, I want to say also this. There was this thing that came out on Rachel Maddow last night, a whistleblower from the Environmental Protection Agency, saying that they had had a gag order put on them, and so on and so forth, and that the agency was being shut down temporarily, cease all activities, gag order. Somebody sneaked out and said what they had to say, and the news got out. But I don't, again, I don't know, and you don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. There's a lot of things that the Environmental Protection Agency does that I don't like. There's a lot of things that all these agencies do that I don't like. Look at what the Department of Education has done to education standards in this country over the years. Um, so, and as far as the Environmental Protection Agency, they do make it very, very hard for companies to do business. They do have very onerous and bureaucratic regulations, and they do hurt the country in those ways and in other ways. So I'm not necessarily against taking a good look at what's going on in the agency and handling it in an appropriate fashion. But this secretive way of doing it with much force and arrogance and one-way communication, not two-way communication, doing it in such a way that you're trying to keep people from knowing about it, and especially Trump, when he does have a history of saying things and doing things which are for Trump and which could even be classified as crimes. We shall see. Uh, and And when you do it that way, that is not something which you can have in a free society. There's a Springsteen song which is called "Long Walk Home." He's got a line in there: "That flag over the courthouse says certain things are set in stone, who we are, what we'll do, and what we won't." Now, shutting down an agency, telling it to cease operations, telling the people in the agency not to talk to anybody about what's going on, and so on and so forth, that's un-American. That's not how you do conduct yourself in a free society. And I don't know about you, but what I do feel is a little bit like I felt on 9/11, where you were expecting where to get hit again. You didn't know where. You didn't know when. The abusers, child abusers, wife abusers. If you talk to the abused, they will tell you, as Joe Torre, former Yankee manager, now a senior advisor to Major League Baseball, former Major League Baseball MVP baseball player, he will tell you that he was abused as a child, which is why he formed the Safe at Home Foundation. And that much worse than being abused was not knowing when you were going to be abused, but knowing that it was coming and living in fear and not knowing when it was going to happen next. And that's how we all felt on 9/11. We got hit real hard. Not going to say by who or why. That's a whole different topic. But we got hit real hard, and then we didn't know if we were going to get hit again, where we were going to get hit again, how hard we were going to get hit again. And this torrent of stuff coming out from Trump, first of all, as I asked on Facebook earlier, who gave this man a pen? I want to know. Maybe we can take his pens away, hide all the pens. Pence? No, not pens, pens. Anyway, that's what I want to say. The way that he's doing things is very aggressive, very arrogant, very fascistic. And while I don't know what's going on, and I don't know if some of the things that he's doing are not actually really good things, they may be, but the way that he's doing them is very abusive. On a similar subject, I like Sean Spicer, and I'll tell you why. Today, what's her name? Just her name. She's got kind of like darker skin. She's an MSNBC commentator. She asked a question about a document that had made it out into the media. Sean Spicer is saying it's not from the White House, so I'm not going to talk about it. But here's the thing. He was a bit arrogant and shut her down. And then there was a time shortly after that where I saw him looking in her general direction, and almost, it seemed to me, feeling a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. He was unhappy. He was looking at her and he was unhappy. And then he kind of, a little bit after that, became unresponsive. He wasn't so much in communication with all of the reporters. And I'm like, this is very interesting. And then shortly after that, he abruptly called a halt to the meeting. And then he said it was because Trump was going to speak, but Trump didn't speak for more than half an hour after that. He could have continued the meeting for a little while. So I predict that Sean Spicer is going to resign, and soon. He is a real asset to Trump, so it will be a huge blow. But just looking at how he was looking in, he seemed to be, I wish I could think of the word. He felt that he had done something wrong in the way that he treated that MSNBC reporter this afternoon. And then he seemed to be thinking about it, seemed to be wanting to call on her for another question, thought otherwise, and then canceled the talk. So you and I have no idea what it must be like to be working so close to Trump, especially right now. And I think that Sean Spicer is wondering how the hell he got himself into this situation and how the hell can he get himself out of this situation. But again, I don't know. But I was very happy. I was delighted. I was jumping for joy because on one of my other videos, I said that that thing that Sean Spicer did on Saturday was almost like sending up a flare, almost like blinking Morse code. And then somebody last night on MSNBC, I think it was, said the same thing. And I was like so relieved to know that somebody else had the same thought that I did. So if Sean Spicer does in fact resign, you heard it here first. But I can tell for sure that he's not happy. And anyway, as much as we know anything for sure. Anyway, the name of this talk is Gorilla in a Library. And I'm going to quote Lawrence O'Donnell, "You are not alone." If you're feeling like you're not going to get, you don't know where you're going to get hit from next, but you know you're going to get hit, you don't know, anyway, the way that Trump is carrying on is abusive, even if some of the things that he's doing are right. And ultimately, all that I've got to say is that none of us really know what's going on, not only with Trump, not only in politics, but every single day. If we're not just seeing the love of God, the peace of God, the joy of God, then we're seeing something else, and it's just our own projection. So we really don't know what the hell's going on. So try to be peaceful and loving and joyful. We're all being tested at this point. Can we continue to be in that place of peace, love, and joy with all of this going on? And I think we can. I think you can. I think I can. Let's see if we can. Alright, sorry that I sound like this, but hopefully I'll be through this thing in a couple of days. It seems to linger on. Like I said, even my doctor's got it. Anyway, and I look kind of frightful. You have yourself a great day, okay? Peace.